Hello and welcome to another edition of If Not Now When. I'm Shelby Davis,
And I'm Elizabeth Stone.
and we're glad to see you again. Another episode. We are back again, and this week's theme, which should be every day, is Women's Day. And we have a great guest with us today, Miss Ronae. Welcome to If Not Now When.
Hi.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode. We're still here in our virtual set. Unfortunately, we can't be in our TV studio yet until things get a little bit better, but we are keeping our fingers crossed that we'll be together in the TV studio together again. So, welcome to our show. We're so happy that you're here today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I just want to take a minute to tell you a little bit about Miss Ronae here. She's a licensed practical nurse, and she's the owner of The Hub in Waterbury. She's the founder of Helping Hands with Open Hearts Incorporated, and she is currently on the Greater Waterbury Double NCP Health Chair. A lot going on, Ronae. Tell us a little bit about some of those things. You have so much things, great things going on.
Yeah, it's all glory to God that I have all these things going on in my life and that I'm here able to share these things with you. I am blessed to be able to live this life, and that's what I'm doing. I'm living my life with purpose. I am licensed as a nurse here, and I was working here in Waterbury. I'm born and raised Waterbury, Connecticut. I am actively seeking to be a part of the change that's happening in Waterbury, the growth. Specifically in the Black community. I am doing my part to make sure that, people my age and younger, that they know about loving their true selves, and that they know the history of where we come from. So I'm working with community activists, other organizations, like you mentioned, the NAACP as well, just to get that word out about all of that and everything.
Not everything. Tell me, what is the hub?
So the hub is a small room rental that I acquired last year, and I began to rent it out for people to have parties, meetings. I run my nonprofit organization out of the hub. So it's a co-working space, a space for people to be creative, a space for people to gather safely. We are following COVID-19 protocols, procedures, all that stuff. But I needed a space where I can do everything that I do. I needed a space where it was safe to gather with my friends. Everybody doesn't want to go to the bar and hang out. I would rather hang out at the hub and do karaoke over there with my friends. We do karaoke, paint night. It's just a great space.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That sounds wonderful.
So since you opened the hub, what has been your most favorite activity that you've done there?
Right now, actually, I am loving the fact that I have gun permit class going on there. His name is Ricardo Gibson. He's local here. He has a business, MGI Firearms, and he is in there training people up. Mostly, he's usually there like 2 or 3 times a month on the weekend, and he's holding classes, teaching people how to be a gun owner.
Right. Do you do other activities? Do you do like community events? I know you were doing some kind of like with the census, helping people get registered for the census and getting those numbers counted.
Yeah, for a few months we were having the Census Bureau come in. Someone donated computers to us and said, Ronae, I want these computers to specifically be so people can come fill out their census.
Mhm.
So that was a great thing. People have been very generous to me, and to my efforts, because they see that it's trickling down into this community. And so we did the census there for a few months. What else have we done there? The gun permit class is going on, census. Um, there's pop-up shops. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. I'm sure you are.
Mhm.
But there's pop-up shops that are going on actually today, starting at 12 o'clock. So they already are starting.
Where is the hub?
The hub is located on 1021 West Main Street in Waterbury.
Okay.
When I heard of the hub, it's nothing like ever before. It's like you don't really see a networking space like this in Waterbury. So it's nice that you brought that here. So we thank you for that. It's nice to have a place people can go, whether it's a community activity or a small business or something, they can go and be part of the community because we need more community engagement. We really do.
Yeah, so I also, like I mentioned before, I run my nonprofit out of the hub as well. So my biggest effort to date that I've done with my nonprofit organization is Project Period. So we collect and we donate feminine hygiene products and we distribute them out to girls in the community, homeless, and we also have group sessions where we get together and we talk about what happens when you get your menstrual period and what to expect, and just how to be nice to your girlfriends. So I think it's very important to engage this community in conversations that are not the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So periods are one of them. I love talking about that.
Mm-hmm. And that is your organization, Helping Hands with Open Hearts?
Correct.
Okay. And how long has that been running?
We have been operating as a group for about 4 years. We got the 501c3 status in October of last year.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's wonderful about that is because, a lot of girls don't know and don't have anyone to help them. And you are touching on a very,
Touchy subject.
subject that shouldn't be, but it is. So I'm very happy you're doing that. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, period talk doesn't have to be taboo anymore. It shouldn't be taboo. That's, a part of being a woman, a part of having a menstrual. We should be able to talk about that freely. So, yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. And then you're also the current member and the health chair of the Greater Waterbury Double NCP. What does that entail?
So I just took that position. I was appointed that position a few weeks ago. So what that entails is me getting into the community, the Greater Waterbury area, and raising awareness about the health disparities and just the health inequities that we have to challenge and that we have to educate ourselves about and move forward. How do we move forward? As a nurse, it is very important and as a nurse that's not, I don't practice right now in the actual field, like clinical, but I'm very much involved with the educational piece. So taking this position for the chair, I'm hoping as the chair for the NAACP in the Greater Waterbury area, I'm hoping to host events that specifically target the health disparities in Greater Waterbury.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's get this straight. You are a licensed nurse, you run a non-for-profit, you're a chairperson, and you own a business. How in the world do you manage all these things at one time? Please tell me, what does your calendar book look like? How do you do it?
So my calendar book, I was about to pull it out, but there's no need for that. My calendar book, there's stickies all over the place. And again, like I started the interview with, to God be the glory. God renews my strength every day so that I can get up and do this work. God kept me for a reason so I can do this work. My teenage years, like a lot of people's teenage years, I like to call them sulky and stormy.
Mm-hmm.
But God got me through that. So we could have this conversation today. And so I could tell people, things do pass. And getting older, I'm not old, nobody's old, but aging has been very good to me.
Wow. You need an assistant.
I want to learn how to do a lot of it myself. And that's important to me, to learn how to do a lot of it myself. And I know when you have a business, nobody's going to do it like you do it. And it's
Right.
still early. Like all this stuff is very new, very fresh. So I want to be in the trenches with my business and with my organization. I want people to see like me doing the work. Like these are the things that I've been gifted to purpose to the world, and you're gonna see me at all of them. You know where to find me. You know I'm at the hub. You know if you need pads, I'm the pad lady.
Mhm.
I'm the pad lady in Waterbury, and I love that. I love that this community knows that I am there for them.
Do companies donate these women hygiene products to you?
Yes, but our biggest donor has come from a woman out in Southbury. Her name is Dory. I love Dory.
Shout out
Dory
to
is a
Dory.
part of organization. Dory's a part of a church out there, and they have like a thrift shop. So Dory sends me coupons every month, and with those coupons, I'm able to then purchase products at a cheaper price.
Mhm.
Dory has been our biggest donor. Yeah, so we love Dory.
That's great. That's wonderful. What does the future hold for the hub and for the Your Helping Hands organization? Where do you want to see it go?
So, as a licensed practical nurse, I would love to see the nonprofit move into a space where we could provide care, clinicians, have all that stuff on board, social workers, really be able to add into the health and social aspect of organizations here in Waterbury. So that I would love to move into eventually. And then for the hub, I really just see this beautiful co-working space. I see computers and I see an event hall and I see just more a lounge area. I, I I'm really hoping that in the next few years, as I learn how to write grants and request different investments and stuff like that, I'm hoping that it can grow to that.
And it will. Just
It's
speak it out into existence. It
yes.
will. It
Oh,
will
I,
be there.
I think it will too. I think we got her early.
Yes, 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 yes. Very cool. Very cool. So let's talk about the quote of the week briefly. Each week we come up with a different quote of the week. Elizabeth, do you want to share a quote of the week?
Every story I create creates me. I re, I write to create myself.
Every story I create creates me. I write to create myself.
That
Elizabeth, what does that mean to you?
well, I've written two books, and I have to say that you do find out about yourself when you're writing,
Hmm.
especially if it's autobiography. It's your life, and so I think that you do actually you create your own area.
Yeah, absolutely. You write your own story. You pretty much write the way you want your life to be.
You do. You write the way you want your life to be. And or you write to help others, which is my very favorite thing in the world.
Hmm. Both
So
you and I, Elizabeth, have written books to help others. I know Renee, you've mentioned that you want to write a book. What kind of book do you want to write?
yeah.
So I too fall into the self-helper category. Sounds like that you all have written books in. So I would love to write a book that is relatable, that is rather small. My not small in content, but small in pages. I want it
Hmm.
to be a quick read. I want somebody to be able to sit for, I don't know, an hour and read through it all. But again, very relatable. And I want other women to come along that journey with me. So hopefully the next time you all are talking to me, I'll be sharing about my book and
We hope
how
so.
I finished it.
We hope
Tell
so.
me, what will it be about though?
So my first book is go. I've already been given all the titles for my books. I've already been given all the titles for my movies. I have a great foundation. This first book is entitled Girl, Me Too, and it will be the stories of 7 different women who have a relatable story to tell. And I'm going to have them share one specific story throughout their journey that is relatable. So that's going to be the first book.
Wonderful, wonderful. So
Great.
I just wanted to get your impact, what you think about our quote of the week. Every story I create creates me, I want to create myself. What are your thoughts, Ronae, on that quote?
Being a writer, the more I write, the more I feel I'm healed, the more I feel that I am at peace, the more I feel on the right path. So this quote literally is what I feel like other artists need to hear. You need to write your story, because when you write it out, that's your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your purpose, and that's going to create you and make you a more resilient person. That's going to make you a person with more grit. That's going to make you the person that you were purposed on this earth to be.
Right.
So I want all artists to know that when you write, even when you're discouraged, because sometimes I've been discouraged and had what we would call a writer's block for several years. And I don't flow the way I once flowed, and I've been discouraged. But now, moving out of that space, I realize writing is going to save me and save someone else. So I have to. When you realize that your gifting is attached to somebody's healing, you can do one or two things: not do it or do it. Period.
Yeah. Writing is very therapeutic for some. It can be very cleansing, very, very relaxing for some people. So
I think a lot of people should, even if they don't want to be writers or, have books, just keeping a journal
Yes.
is really effective in making you feel better, because, if you go back in your journals and you look how you felt, say, 10 years ago,
So true.
you can really see your progress. And if you don't see progress, you have to try to figure out how to move forward. If not now, when? Never.
exactly. Earlier in the episode today, we talked about Renee's many, many things that she's involved in. What does a day in the life of Renee look like, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep? Because I'm curious. What does a day in the life look like?
So I recently left my job. I recently took that leap, and I said, you know what? I'm doing too much,
Mm-hmm.
and I am not because I was led once before to not work a 9 to 5 job, and I attempted it, and it went the way it went. And then I had everybody in my ear like, but you need health insurance, but you need this, and you need a 401k, you're gonna retire. And so I took a position. I had that position for about 6 months, then COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And that completely changed everything. So I've been self-employed fully for about a little bit over a week now. And a day in my life has been I've been busy. I have not been stopping.
Mm-hmm.
I've been meeting with people. I have been writing, getting my business plans together. I've been more self-aware, and I've been very peaceful, and I've been at the hub a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm at the hub so much. I'm there setting up for parties, using the computers to write this. So honestly, a day in my life is like skip
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over, but it's great. I have the energy for it. And I'm ready to do this work. So when I've been self-motivated a lot lately, and this was not me years ago. So a day in my life is just coaching myself that you got this, girl. I do a lot of you got this, girl. You're good.
Yeah.
Self motivation is very important. Self motivation is very important. So yes, yes.
All that.
One
Well,
thing we do.
you don't love you. Who's going to love you?
Yes.
Nobody. And it wasn't until I realized that I was able to make major life changes. It was not until I realized what you just said, that I didn't love myself, that I was able to readjust and get back on assignment.
I don't understand how important it is to, here's one of the things I think is if you wouldn't talk to a friend like that, why do you talk to yourself like that?
Mm-hmm.
And people, you know how you say stuff like, I'm too this, or I'm too that, or I'm not pretty, or I'm too heavy, or I'm too skinny, all that stuff. Now imagine if your friend came to you with a problem and you treated them like you treat yourself when you have a problem.
Right.
That's just ridiculous. Treat yourself like you would treat a friend.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we do here at this show is a pet peeve. We discuss a pet peeve and hopefully we can get over it. This week's pet peeve is, well, Elizabeth, what about you? What is your pet peeve this week? Do you have one?
Well, as I said last week about the mask under the nose, I just
Yeah.
don't get it. But I also agree with you. I was in the store the other day and people were so close to me. I was like, please back off.
Right.
I can't afford to bring that home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. My pet peeve of the week is inconsiderate neighbors. People who decide they want to mow the lawn at 6 a.m. in the morning because they need to get done. I'm like, well, there's other people living next door to you and my window is right here. Please consider other people's sleeping patterns and be more respectful of your neighbors. That's my pet peeve. I think I can get over it, though. I'll forgive.
Well,
Ronae?
you have to think about one thing you have to think about with that. If you know that about your neighbor, especially on a Saturday or Sunday morning, I would get noise canceling. I would. I'd rather than go through it because it can get so irritating.
Yep. Yep. And then you can start doing it on purpose if you mention it to them.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People are vindictive.
Yeah, they can be. Ronae, what about you? Do you have any pet peeves?
I think something that has always been a pet peeve of mine, which I'm going to work to get over now that I'm openly admitting this
Yes,
on
that's why this is
camera.
here.
On
Uh-huh.
camera. So
Uh-huh.
I think I have a pet peeve of people being like, oh well, somebody's acting funny, but they didn't check on that somebody first.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my pet peeve is people not checking on people and expecting them just to know everything that's going on with that person. Like, no, you don't know what's going on with that person. You don't know if they need a hug. You don't know if they need a friend. So before you say they're acting funny, how about you check on them?
Yes. Check on your friends. It's very important.
Yeah, today's actually mental health awareness. I think it's like a part of like mental health awareness or something, but check on your friends.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Ronae, if we want to find out more about the things that you're doing, some of your projects, your activities, where can we go to find that out?
So I have a website for the Hub. It's the Hub, WTBY.com.
Mm-hmm.
I also am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, both of them, the Hub, WTBY. And I also, if you want to see like my other projects that I'm doing with like the NAACP, I also work with an organization called the Ungroup Society. They have Afro Latinx and financial literacy class going on right now. So if you want to see like what I'm doing with the community, you can follow my social media is on Facebook is Lizzie Craig.
Okay. Very well, then. We're excited to see all the projects that you come up with. We'll definitely stay connected, stay tuned with each other so we can keep together and motivate each
I'm
other.
inspired by both of you authors. Like, I'm on a video with two authors. Like, I'm feeling really honored and really blessed to be a part of this. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we had some great conversation, and this concludes this week's episode of Not Now When. I'm Shelby Davis.
And I'm Elizabeth Stone.
And we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.